Welcome, everybody, to episode 78, part 2 of our 2020 Deer Camp series. And hopefully you listened to the episode I posted on Monday. That was episode 77. I did get a couple messages. I made a mistake when I was loading it on Sunday night, and I recognized that before the day got going too far on Monday morning. So about 6:30 in the morning, I re-uploaded the podcast. So it may not have affected many of you, but if you did see like a 1 minute and 30-second-ish podcast pop up, whether it be on the Facebook, on the YouTube, or on whatever platform you're listening on, I apologize for that. Just delete it and reload it, and it will play properly. I know for a fact that'll work, at least on iTunes and some of the other apps. But anyway, this will be a day 2 recap. So to kind of set the plate for you, we're back at camp. Danny, or Stinky, whatever you'd like to call him, in this series. The two Dannys and AJ and myself are back at camp. We're just going to recap the day. And it was a long day. It was a non-fruitful day, but there was some laughs and some fun to be had. Of course, with me being the butt of that. So I think you'll all enjoy what happened to me. And I hope you enjoy this series as we go through. And I promise you there'll be some good news on the podcast that I post on episode 3, as that'll be Danny Boy and I. Stinky himself on our ride home. We'll be recapping the last day of the hunt, and we did have some action on the last day. So stay tuned, keep listening, keep helping us share this thing out there. I hope you're enjoying it. It's been fun bringing all this stuff to you. So have a good rest of your week, and we'll have another one for you on Friday. Thank you. Hello. Yeah, that's your name.
Squirrels got me.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Really cold and fun.
Cold and fun. That's good that you think that of it, because that's what deer hunting typically is cold and fun.
Yesterday morning, I'm glassing up on the pass, and I see these deer moving, and I'm like, ooh, there's some deer moving. All of a sudden, I just see this person just head down, just hauling ass, wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a pack on. And I'm like, is that Tard? My dad always talks about floating through the woods like the autumn breeze.
So Robert's
when you're
the
275 pounds, I don't know how you do that, but
the Freightliner. It's just like a creeper. You're just kind of up in the corner watching what's going on down there.
yeah.
You know.
He's like,
he's up there slapping, pissing all over everything.
is it warm yet?
How did you know the name of the actor?
That's I know.
Why did you say his name?
Hervé Villechaize. Remember this?
You know what pert near means.
If you know what pert near means and you live in America, you're a redneck too.
Welcome to the Log Talk Podcast, brought to you by Pert Near Outdoors.
Brother out.
You need it. You need help.
Yeah, I don't know, aren't I? I got my mic right up there.
I can't
You gotta get it in there.
hardly hear you.
Right? That's not my fault.
Talk again.
Whose fault is that?
You're number 3.
Yeah.
I think you're just quiet.
You need a beer?
No, I'm not.
You are.
This is my loud voice.
Well, you
I'm
don't
like
have to yell.
yelling.
Don't yell.
Yeah, but all right, that's better.
He soft talks, right?
I wasn't soft talking then, though.
It sounds fine now.
It
Yeah.
sounds fine if you talk like we're sitting here talking.
We're good.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah. Are you gonna say hi?
Good afternoon.
Incredibly uncomfortable. Day 2 in the books.
Long day.
Long day. No deer were harmed in the events that happened today. So I did an awful job yesterday introducing who we had on the podcast, because Dan Jeffrey, this is your first time on the podcast, new to our handsome listeners.
Ooh.
So got Dan Zahler, Dan Jeffrey, and AJ Hipsch, and myself, of course, Billy. And so we're just going to recap today's hunt. Today was day 2 down in a state that borders New York State. Rhymes with Schmenzel Schmucky. So we were down here and kind of bummed. No shots were fired today. So I guess kind of go around the horn and just kind of get everybody's thoughts on the day. So Zaylor will go left to right. So you're to my left. Get you started.
Yeah, it's a great question.
You're low talking me again.
That was not a low talk. Oh, you know what I did is
Oh, there it
I'm
is.
like, yeah, I'm trying to drink beer again. This is the problem we run into
It's
every
your time to talk. You can drink beer when you're done talking. Because God knows I'll talk enough.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had. I think it was a bunch of things. We tried some new things, and we got into a little bit of hunting pressure, and we just didn't see any bucks. I don't know. There's something going on. Something going on that I don't really know. But
It's
we did
not-
not get it done today.
Yeah, it's not been the normal.
That's all we gotta say.
We ran this morning. We ran into in the drainage we were hunting. We ran into a fair amount of hunters, and there was a lot of boot traffic. You could see all across the hills. There was a lot of people that had been in there, and did see one small buck on that drive. I saw a buck, but I couldn't put brow tines on him, so it was not a legal buck. So he was not fired at, but it was. That first drive was kind of a little. That was so, like you said, both drives today were completely new areas none of us had ever stepped foot in. So the game plans weren't as fine tuned as they normally are when we dive down into these areas. So we're going to go back to a couple Old Faithfuls tomorrow, but it was interesting to say the least. The way that the day unfolded, it took a lot of time, covered a lot of ground. But Danny, Jeffrey. Coming around to you. So yesterday we made fun of you about your backpack. Today you showed up to play.
Oh, it's a whole nother world. That was great.
So how was the day for you?
Well, it was better. Definitely not as sore with that bag being, 50 pounds later. That definitely helped. Made the day better. I don't know. I had a pretty good day, I guess. I got to actually see deer. So I didn't see anything yesterday, and today on that first drive coming down, I had that one doe coming up the hill, and she came within 20 feet, and that was pretty cool. We're looking at each other, and I got the heart going a little bit. Then came down and, saw another 3 playing around, and they actually went down towards our sitters, so that was cool. I felt like I actually helped.
Yeah.
And then came out to that hiking trail, and that was pretty. I had that creek down there and just the big woods in the background. That was nice.
Yeah, there was some awesome scenery today. That first drive was that. I can understand why that was just packed full of people. It was freaking gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous down in there. But we didn't even die. I was thinking about the podcast we did yesterday today while I was spending hours upon hours by myself and doing nothing, waiting for people that I thought were coming that weren't coming. That's another whole nother topic. But I was thinking about how. Yesterday I didn't do any introductions of anybody, so I introduced everybody, but I was sitting and reflecting kind of what the connection is. So on this year's hunt, we've got 2 brand new guys to the group, and Rob Bono, we're going to call him Bono, because you might say his name differently, but I'm just going to go with Bono. Rob Bono and Dan Jeffrey. You guys are 2 new hunters with us, and both relatively new hunters. So what got you into hunting? Because you've only been hunting for a couple of years now.
Yeah. Geesh, I think it goes all the way back to my grandfather, gun owner, ex-Marine. Got into conversation with, if he goes, who's going to get all of his pistols? No one in the family has a pistol permit, so I started off there. And that actually, before that, my brother-in-law, he's in the Army, and my wife and I would usually go down. They get stationed, 3 years in a couple different areas. And we were down in San Antonio, I think. And this is going back, probably 8 years ago. And he's a pretty quiet guy. And one day we were down there for Thanksgiving, long weekend. He said, "Do you want to go to the gun range?" I said, "Okay." Never been, never shot a gun. And man, we had a great time. It was really relaxed down there, obviously compared to New York, but you paid a one-time range fee and you got to basically take any gun you want. You just had to pay for ammo.
Yeah.
So we had a good time, yeah. And fast forward another 3 years, they were in I think Nashville, and we did the same thing. It was a little different, but still tried out a couple different guns, and man, it was just really fun. And then I was talking to my grandpa and said, okay, turn of the year. This is going back a couple of years now. Turn of the year, I'm gonna go, get my pistol permit, do all the classes, all the stuff like that, and got that, and then just kept going with it. Said, okay, well, maybe I'll get into hunting now, because that's, shooting for sport and now shooting for game and food and all that. So, ended up connecting with AJ again. He moved back home and I was still closer to the city and we kept in touch. But all of a sudden had a conversation one time. Hey, have you been going out hunting at all? Oh yeah, really getting into it. So I dove in head first, just got enamored with all the different. He told me about Meat Eater. I think that was the first one where I really watched that, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I mean, I've always loved nature, going out. I mean, growing up, fishing, small town, four-wheelers, all that stuff, but didn't really hunt, but just loved being outside. So this sort of blended it all together.
Yeah. And I was thinking about the connection between you two, because AJ's my brother-in-law. So AJ had never hunted, and then AJ got into hunting, 4 years ago?
4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago. He just up and decided he was going to hunt. We've talked about that on the podcast, how he got into it, and it was just really because all of us, Danny Zaylor, myself, Brian and Dallas, we're all pretty close, and we were all just diehard into hunting. And so AJ kind of got himself in that way. But then I remember AJ, when he told me, he's like, yeah, I think he's real serious. He's going to get into hunting, And it was right away. It was like as soon as you got the taste, and decided you wanted to do it, AJ told me, and AJ's the same way. It's like if he's going to do it, he's going to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of fun to, just engaging with you. And that's what I find so funny about what hunting does, is that and I'm sure there's other hobbies like this, but like you and I, we played softball together when I first started dating Sarah, and AJ and I got to know each other. I was playing softball with you guys. So that's how I knew you.
Right.
But then it's like after we got done playing softball, there's no.
Yeah.
There's
see
nothing,
you next year.
Yeah. You're just
unfortunately
you're not really friends. You just play in a softball league and you drink a beer once a week.
We weren't friends, man. I thought we were friends.
That was tough, man.
We were on that level. We weren't hunting buddies. That's a whole nother level. There we go. That's how you turn it around.
All right.
So, but seriously, would we ever imagine sitting down here in a cabin 7 years ago when we were playing softball in Buffalo? Would we imagine sitting down here in a cabin, drinking beers with headsets on? Who would have thought?
Man.
But it's just cool to. I never really heard that story. I assumed it was more AJ driven, but that family background, what got you into it. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of YouTube and just got into it. And as the more you talk about it to other people and find out there's a lot of more hunters out there, and everyone's sort of on the same page with bringing up the next guys and helping out, and it's just been really cool. So
yeah, this is all really new when you really think about it. This is in the last 2-3 years. Well, basically since AJ got going. That's like the first experience for me, and it just seems like now there's just such an influx, and so many people around us that weren't into it are getting into it. And it's really fun because it brings that energy back into it. Like Danny and I were talking about this the other day, that Zaylor and I were talking about this the other day, that I kind of forget sometimes, when people are asking me questions about stuff, I kind of get short, because I'm, everybody's got a lot going on, but you don't maybe realize that they don't know and they're just asking because they want to know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's I guess you don't know what you know when you've been hunting, you've been around it your whole life. Not that we're experts, but you just have a lot of experience.
Yep.
It's like AJ, when you ask me a question, sometimes I catch myself immediately shooting down your idea or telling you no, that's not what I would do. But that's I gotta like check myself on that because you got to figure out, and if you want to do that, then do it, try it, figure out if it works or not. Like my opinion doesn't need to be dumped on you for everything. I already put enough of my opinions on you, but yeah, it's cool. So so with both of you guys, like what's this like for you, having you and Danny what's your guys' relationship? How did you guys get to know each other?
We went to college together, UB, so architecture. To be honest, I never thought Danny would be into hunting. Kind of from right outside of New York City, or not too far away from New York City. And I just didn't picture it. So I was pretty excited when he said he was interested in it, and didn't try to push him too hard to get into it, but gave him the information as he wanted it to get interested in it, and kind of push the items like Meat Eater or that type of thing that I know he would find interesting and would keep his interest into it towards him.
Yeah.
So what I found the most interesting is, like, it's only been a couple of years, so my perspective, like his pack yesterday, I remember the first time I came down here. I remember what I packed, and it's interesting to see what the next person in line thought they needed on their first hunt down here.
Yeah.
And compare from where I am now to what I was 5 years ago coming down here.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great point. Yeah, you learn so much just by doing it. You can watch all the videos you want and read articles. And until you do it.
Like AJ had your like full Carhartt clothes on.
Oh, that
like
first
drop
year?
Yeah, the first year. Like dropping down into one of these valleys, like just with probably 15 pounds of clothes.
It's like you can always, I guess now talking about it, you can predict the way that a first time hunter down here is going to be going into it. Yeah. Every single like you and Rob both this year were way overdressed.
Yeah. And with Danny, thinking about it now, I scared him to death with it being cold. Like, you don't want to be cold. You're going to be out there for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you stay warm.
And it, is it much better to be warm than it is cold? Yes, but there's a happy medium there.
Yeah.
When you're sweating your ass off and you cannot cool down, like, that's not a good situation to be in. And I didn't realize I mean, I knew you had a lot of shit going on yesterday, but I didn't know how much you had going on. Like wearing 1,100 gram thin slate boots and wool socks. Like, my God, the amount of moisture, freaking sweat and fluids you dumped yesterday.
My toes always get cold. That was the one thing
Was
I was
there a
like, I
boot?
can't get my toes cold.
There was a boot thing I didn't know about.
Yeah. What are your?
No, I
boots?
have they're insulated 1,200, but I only had liner socks. I didn't have wool socks on. I had an extra pair of wool socks in the bag
In case.
With the boot warmers in the bag, too.
Yeah, in the boot one.
In case we got some Siberian sub-zero temperatures.
I had no
that they
idea
were
what I was
not
up
predicting.
against.
Did you switch out your boots today, or?
No, I kept those on. They're actually really comfortable. Shout out to, I don't know if we're doing promotions or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're
we have
looking for-
zero. We have
Looking
zero.
for sponsors.
Yeah, those are lacrosse, and they're from Camel Fire.
Yeah.
Picked those up about a month ago, right before coming down here, because
With the Pert Near link.
oh, you know it.
Oh man, you funded this podcast just
There we
yourself
go.
over the last year.
But yeah, my feet have been great. No blisters, no
Good for
pains
you.
or anything. So
that's
yeah, they're
huge.
just
We need to put him on a side hill tomorrow. I think that's what I'm
Ooh,
hearing.
yeah.
I bit it today on a side hill.
Yeah, we've kind of we've made it a little easy on him where we put you. So
I appreciate that.
if you want some blisters, we can get you some. About 9:30 in the morning tomorrow, we can have some blisters on your
Oh
feet.
yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun. So let's.
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool having both you guys here. Obviously, AJ's been part of the group for a few years now, but adding you, it's been fun having you here and seeing another new face with the group, and it just brings another perspective to it. And I get all fired up. I was pretty frustrated today because nobody had any shot opportunities, and yesterday we did get a nice buck on the ground, but it's when you're walking for 6-8 hours. You really want to hear that gun go off so that
Some
you know that
satisfaction.
there's some production from what you put all the effort in. So it's easy to get frustrated, but it's bigger than that. Like having you guys down here, it's pretty awesome this is something that you'll probably remember for the rest of your life. Going on your
Yeah.
first out of state hunting trip, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I never thought, I heard you guys talking to AJ, about it and everything, and I think I planted a little bug in his ear. I was like, hey, if I could, I'd love to go to deer camp. So, I'm doing all the solo hunts, so it's great to just get out with a couple more people, and this is good. So I appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys all letting me come out here.
And another thing is, like, the experience we get from just being in this camp. I don't think you guys realize how much we can pick up from that. So Danny will, in the solo hunts, has a wealth of knowledge that he didn't have until
hopefully the stuff you're running across now will help help you when you go to do your own thing. And it stinks that we have everything that's going on that has things different this year than what they normally are, because it's, in a way, it's good. Like, we're getting to bed at a reasonable hour, and like, we're all like, yeah, we're tired, okay, we're gonna have a couple more beers and we'll go to bed. It's not the 14 guys in a house and everybody's pushing everybody to drink and party and everything else. Like, those are good times, but I was really enjoying this morning, waking up at 5:30 and being like, oh, I feel good, and like making a cup of coffee, and we're not in a rush. It was nice. It's usually freaking chaos in the morning. We're like running on 5 hours of sleep and still feeling the effects of the night before.
Walking off the hangover.
Yeah. We all tend to shoot pretty straight in that.
Maybe that's the issue.
Maybe that is the issue. We got a box of beer there.
Yeah.
Get ourselves to that point relatively quickly if we wanted to.
I got some Jim Beam over there too.
You do. Yeah. We could mix it with water. Jim Beam and Bush.
John Peterson yesterday, he's like, after day 2, he's like, you're pretty sore day 2. It's like, day 3, you feel like you could just climb mountains in Colorado. No, not after.
Yeah, I was gonna say
not after.
No.
Not after having 15 beers at camp the night before and.
Yeah, yes. I'm not really looking forward to tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to the deer that will be shot tomorrow. We've got 2 good drives, but it's gonna be the longest of the 3 days as far as mileage wise, walking, because we're gonna hit some stuff that we haven't hit yet that are our normal drives, but because there's gates closed, so down here they have gates across the roads where they kind of control traffic in and out on these state forest roads. So, it's going to be easy walking to get there on the road, but it's long, 3 miles. Danny did the math on the hunting app, so it's going to be about 3 miles to get in there to set up in the morning, but it'll hopefully be worth it. I've got confidence. If I have confidence, then you should too.
It's produced for us in the past.
Yep.
I have confidence in the deer moving down the hill towards the people that are sitting in the bottom of the hill. Not sure how straight the bottom of the hillers will be able to shoot, but hopefully we'll shoot straight.
You're talking to the 4 that are going to be there.
Yeah, I know I can't shoot for shit, so hopefully it comes in close.
I have no concerns about my abilities. You got to raise your confidence. Keep your head, head high, confident.
Low expectations. Outperform them.
Those are softball.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
That's how I live.
Those are
How it comes
softball
around.
teams' name.
Yeah, that was our softball team named
Low
expectations.
expectations.
We were winners, though.
Oh yeah.
We
have trophies.
I should have brought that trophy with me this weekend.
We have trophies and bars.
Yeah, that's right.
We got T-shirts.
They've been closed and reopened 3 times.
Yeah, because of all the prison shankings that were happening there. That was the most sketchy. That was the sketchiest area to play.
Yeah.
There's worse, I'm sure, but that was a sketchy league in a sketchy area. And then the bar was even worse. Like, you look back at that, it's like, what were we doing in that bar?
Yeah.
I've actually met quite a few good friends from that league.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Eric Meyer, right?
Oh yeah. E-Train.
You didn't know him prior to that?
No, we all met there.
How the hell did you even end up on the same team?
He was on a different team for years, and we just got to know each other from playing on the different teams and needed to combine teams after a couple years.
Where is this place?
This was in Kenmore?
Off of Military Road.
Yeah.
It was like a Kenmore, North Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Something,
all you
yeah.
need
It was
to
like
say.
Yeah.
that infield
What
was
was
like
the bar name?
I mean, there was like syringes out in the field. It was bad.
yeah.
That's over dramatic.
You played.
There was some freaking weird
shortstop.
shit out there.
Watch out for that ball bouncing. You
Do you
never
remember
know where
that,
it was gonna
that
go.
championship game when I was playing somewhere in the outfield and Sarah was playing third base because you had to have like every other guy, girl,
Oh, yeah.
girl, and Sarah played third. And this is before we were married, but you know she still treats me the same way. It was like I think there was a girl up to bat, and the bases were loaded. It was like a scenario like that, and I'm like, Sarah, moving on the dirt, and she turned around and looked at me. And she goes, "You bite your tongue." I was like, okay. So, because I remember the girls were like super, because that was the championship game, I believe.
Yeah.
And the girls were freaking tense. That team was good. There was a bunch of Hispanics on that team.
You also
Oh, I
told
know
your
that one.
future wife to get closer to a ball that could be going 80 miles per hour towards her head.
She's fine.
Or bouncing and not
25
knowing where
feet
it's
away
going.
from the
She's a
batter.
Kirsch. Her brother's a Gold Glover, for God's sakes. It's in their blood. So, yeah, that's, a little blast from the past there. A little softball stuff. But, yeah, so tomorrow, got a couple good drives ahead of us. And we'll do a little recap after tomorrow's hunt. Hopefully we've got some better stories to share. The highlight of today was me getting left behind. That was the only highlight aside from the illegal, non-legal buck I saw. The second drive of the day, I was the furthest person back in, and apparently I was unable to hear anybody talking on the radio communicating about how they were going to wrap it up and head back to the truck. And I just sat there on the side hill waiting for somebody to push deer to me for like a half an hour, and it dawned on me that no one was coming. So
Hello?
I come over the radio and go, "Can anyone hear me?" And like no
It's getting
response,
dark.
no microphone being
cold.
keyed, nothing. I'm like, well, I might as well just get the hell out of here. So I get up to the top and I start calling everybody's cell phone. Nobody's answering.
Oh, you were at the top when you were complaining about that?
Yeah.
I thought you were still down in. I don't feel that bad for you anymore.
But I had already come up out of there because nobody was responding to me.
Yeah, well, you were at least getting out of there was the worst part.
It wasn't that bad. None of it was that bad. What was bad is knowing that your friends don't give a shit where you are. That's the worst part.
I knew that you had an inReach on your backpack, and if you were really in dire straits, you were just
I would have
gonna
sent
hit
a
that-
message to a phone that nobody was
hit
going to
that-
respond to
You're
me.
going to hit that red button. And
Yeah,
you'd be-
SOS,
yeah.
a $20,000 SOS just
And you
because
would've been
nobody's.
fine.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. I had a bunch of emotions throughout that walk as I was coming up the hill.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, so when I finally got Dallas on the phone, I called him and I was mad, but I was like, just relax, Billy. You didn't do this on purpose. It's nothing personal, But deep down, I'm like that shit.
Oh, you were mad on the phone.
Yeah.
Dallas had you on speaker.
Oh, yeah.
You were. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just see you in an hour.
You were showing your emotions.
Yeah, well, I was pissed. I'm like, well, screw you guys. It's beautiful. The sun's out. It's like 3:30, 3:45. I'm like, I'm still hunting. I'm in no rush, so they can just do whatever. And I didn't know like all this about the vehicle thing. You guys told me when we got back here tonight that Dallas was contemplating just taking both vehicles and leaving me. That's like 6 miles from the freaking.
Yeah.
Just leaving me.
So we didn't know, but all the trucks came back to our parking lot. So
They did?
everyone met at our parking lot.
We met
For some reason. I don't know why, but everybody came to that parking lot. And
we thought we were going to pick you guys up on the road back to your trucks, that you'd be going up the end there.
well, anyways, all the trucks are at our parking lot. So we were thinking that we were walking back to the truck. I'm like, oh, Billy's truck's right here. And Dallas is like, oh, well, we'll take it and go. And I was like, but I think he just wanted to pick up his truck maybe and then bring yours back.
Yeah.
But then there was something said about like
He was in his truck.
just leaving.
Dallas
Like,
was in his truck. and
let's
said to
just
take the
go.
trucks.
Let's just go and we'll come back and pick up Billy later or something. I don't know. That's a good idea.
It would have been more emotional emotionally
I mean,
hurting than phically hurting
if
to me. I would have just walked out.
You guys ever did that to me, I would never come back on this hunt again.
Really?
So, like,
That's the difference between me and you. I'd be like, I didn't mean anything by it, those guys.
I would
It's all right.
There'd be a lot of 4-letter words coming out of my mouth.
Like Ford, Fiat, fudge. That's a
Close.
5-letter word. So, all right.
Silent E.
We're all pretty damn tired here. We're just yammering on. So let's wrap this up, and we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. And hopefully we got
Blood on the ground.
blood on the ground,
Buck in the truck.
buck in the truck, meat in the bag. Later. Feed him.
Feed him.
Danny.
Danny.
This is awkward.
This is super awkward.
What am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to do something better than say your own name. This is awful. We're all too tired.